long tail cast on. Some people like to start from having the strand over the needle as such. I usually find I like to start with a slip knot. Okay, slip knot on the needle. Now you need to use the actual tail from the yarn, so you don't want to start with too short of a piece because you're actually using the tail as well as the strand coming from the ball to do this. You're going to take your strand, one's the tail and one's the ball strand, poke your fingers through like this, like you're peeking through the curtains. Then you're going to grab these strands below, so you're making like a little triangle. Now once you have your fingers like this, and you do want them to be close up to the needle. You don't want it to have a lot of play or it doesn't work because then you have all this give. So peek your fingers through, grab, hold it like this, fingers on holding that stitch, then sit your hand back so you kind of roll it back like this. Now when you roll it back, you should see these little foxy face, 2 eyes, little pointed nose. Okay, those 2 loops are what you're going to be going into. So you're going to go under this one that's on your thumb and over that one that's on your forefinger and then back down through the thumb loop. Then let the thumb loop off and put it back into the curtains. And then I move the finger up to here and the whole procedure repeats again. See, you want to keep this in a small triangle up here. I like to form my stitch out from the other stitch about a good 1/4 inch or so, and then scooch it back. Under, over, down through, let it off. Okay, so by doing this, what you want is to get this flow, and that goes very quickly. Okay, now this hand is doing something. The right hand, it's holding the stitch here so that the new stitch that I'm forming is out here a bit, and then I scoot it back. By having that forming of the stitch out this way and then scooting it back, what you're looking for is to have this sort of action. You don't want to, if I make them real close together, if I make it here and I pull, and I'm being, people think that they're looking for this very precise little hard edge over here. Okay, and you do want this to be consistent on the bottom. But if you do this too tightly up here on this end, instead of getting a nice cast on, the cast on has no give, and it's unpleasant, especially if you're doing like mittens or a hat band. See, this has no, it's very tight, and you want there to be give in your knitting. The other thing you want to notice is that the long tail cast on, it is smooth on this side, so you would consider this the knit side of your work, or the right side if you're doing plain stockinette. And on this side, this would be the purl side. See the bump here? And that would be the purl side. So in some patterns, you might need to make an adjustment in row 1. If you are going to now, this is my first row, if I'm not starting on the wrong side, the purl, say if it was stockinette, starting with a purl, I would have a little bit of a blip in my pattern. This would be a purl row, not a right side row. So anyway, but that's the long tail cast on. And like I said, you don't want to slide down here, and you want to eventually get to practicing so that you're not resetting your hands every stitch. You really want to get it so that you have that sort of a weaving motion flow, and that way you're doing the same, you're doing stitches over and over and over without having to stop like I just did there. You want it to really just be going like this, weaving, weaving, weaving. And you can see here I'm getting towards the end of my tail piece. So it is important. So if I had to cast on 100 stitches, there is no way I'm going to make it before I run out of tail. So it is important to have a long enough tail, hence why it's called the long tail cast on. Thank you.